If you feel as though you can't take a break, what you're really saying is that you're a prisoner to your work as a leader. Now, I'm heading to Peru for 3 weeks this month, and I made the decision to take the majority of the month off. And I did so without guilt. I made this decision knowing that in doing so, I am serving my clients and my movement in the most powerful ways possible. And I want the same for you. I want you to feel as though you can take a break because you can. In fact, it's your divine responsibility as a leader to honor your needs. Tune into this edition of Thursday's Thought and learn why time off is really time in, why your purpose needs you to honor your needs first, how not to feel guilty when you want to take a break, and how to design a business and a mission that honors the lifestyle that you truly want. Now, a few things before we dive into this episode. Number one, I'm taking the rest of November off, which means that there will be no new episodes until the year 2 anniversary episode, which airs on December 2nd. 2, moving into year 3 of the podcast, I am switching back to 1 episode per week. So from December onwards, new episodes will only air on Mondays. And 3, I'm still looking for aligned as fuck conscious thought leaders who are seeking to be part of a community of like minds in 2020. Thought leaders who are using their platforms for purpose and are ready to create a magnetic movement around their message. If that's you and you're ready to take it up a notch and you want to be part of a mastermind and you want to get mentorship and you want to work alongside leaders who think like you and are there to support you, then I invite you to apply to become one of the 10 founding leaders in the Thought Leader Collective. Head to rubyfremon.com/TLC and apply today. Enrollment closes this month. And yes, I know I'm going to be away, but send in your applications anyways, and I will get back to you as soon as I am back. Now, if you dig this podcast, please stay in the loop by signing up for my weekly emails. Sign up today at rubyfremon.com/subscribe. And finally, whether you're a loyal thought leader or a brand new listener, please take a moment to download a few episodes and drop a rating and review on iTunes. Now it is time to learn why you can take time off. So let's dive right in. Hey, thought leaders, welcome to another edition of Thursday's Thought. And I'm going to start off by being totally transparent in saying that by the time you listen to this episode, I will be embarking on a plane to Peru. So I'm recording this episode about 2 weeks early in preparation for a break that I'm going to be taking. And I want to talk about that break. And I want to talk about what it's like to take breaks as leaders on a mission, as leaders with businesses, as leaders who are also entrepreneurs. Because quite often we can fall into the trap of, I can't take a break. So before I dive into all of that, let me just share a little bit about what's going on in my life. So if you haven't listened to episode number 124 and 126, I highly suggest you hit pause on this episode and go back and listen to episodes 124 and 126. But as a little recap, since December 2017, I have been on a very, very deep and profound plant medicine journey. And I felt very called to plant medicine to support me in healing quite a few things. One is PMDD, which is something that I have been living with that had gotten a lot worse in 2017 and 2018 to the point where it was very, very difficult for me to make it through each month. And the other reason I turned to plant medicine is really to just dive a little deeper within myself, to shed light on what it was that I wasn't seeing, because I believe that our physical symptoms are symptoms of something that is happening within us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I believe this 1,000%. Yes, I believe that our physical vessel could shut down. After all, it's in the 3D world. Like, our physical bodies can get hurt, and I believe that disease really comes from dis-ease. It comes from a place of misalignment within ourselves, which is why when we are depressed, when we experience anxiety, we experience very physical issues. It's why when we're not, we're having a difficult time or we're struggling in our lives, often that can manifest in physical ways. So with all that being said, I've been on this really deep and profound plant medicine journey, working very closely with my shamans who are also very, very dear and close friends, and working primarily with ayahuasca and kambo. Um, Both medicines have been very, very powerful for me in healing, and I get emotional when I talk about plant medicine because of what it's done for me in my life, and I have such a deep reverence for plant medicine. Now, at the beginning of this year, at the beginning of 2018, as I was going deeper into the plant medicine journey here in California, I had this premonition that I would be in Peru this year. I had a few premonitions. One was I was going to feel healed of these things that I was dealing with, my stomach issues that I've been dealing with, since my early 20s, and my PMDD, my mental health issues. I had this premonition that I would be healed by December. I also had this premonition that I was going to Peru. And very specifically, I had the premonition that I would be in Peru in November. Now, I didn't know at the time how that would happen. I just saw the premonition, I saw the vision, I accepted it, I received it, and I also didn't do anything to pursue it because, quite frankly, I, at the time, couldn't see how that would be possible. I have a lot of clients. I also co-lead a mastermind with Kimra Luna this year called The Alliance. And so I have a lot of responsibilities. I have a podcast that's airing twice a week. I have videos that go out regularly. I have content. I mean, I do have a team, an amazing team that supports me. And the majority of the content, like 95% of the content, is me. 95% of the business is me. And so the idea of doing anything, like taking any action towards this premonition that I had towards booking the trip to Peru for November, felt really unattainable for me. So I both acknowledged the vision, I accepted it, I received it fully, and I didn't do anything to pursue it. So I continued this year just through my plant medicine journey here, through my healing, really being deeply devoted to myself and to my own healing. Um, and it's not the first time, but it's the first time that I've been this devoted to myself and to my healing as an entrepreneur, as a leader who is out there in the spotlight. It's the first time that I've been this devoted. And I mean, to the point where I literally put myself first. If there's something going on and I need to completely shift my schedule, I've had no guilt in doing so this entire year. And it's felt really good. And at the same time, this year I've attracted the most aligned clients ever in the entirety of my business. And I've felt the most abundant, and I've called in a lot of abundance this year, but not by actually doing anything to call it in, but by being who I'm being, by focusing on my health, by focusing on putting myself first, but to be the leader that I'm asking you to be, to embody all of the lessons and all of the teachings and everything that I share online, to embody that into my system. Because, if you've been listening to me for a while or following me for a while, you know that I am a big fan of being, not doing. Because when we are being our message, when we are being our vision, when we are being our purpose, That's when we are in full fucking alignment. And that's what it means to be a conscious leader. We have too many people fucking preaching about conscious leadership, and that's all they're doing is preaching. And that's not okay. And like it's like I am psychic, I'm an empath. I feel all these things, and I feel the lack of integrity in our space. And I know you feel this too. I know you feel the lack of congruency when you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, and I am not for it. I will not stand for it. So whatever I can do to contribute to the consciousness that is being called into leadership, I will do by being that first. Not by telling you to be it, but by being it myself. And so back to the story, I had done this, worked privately in a 3-day immersion with one of my shamans to do a combo reset in August. And that reset shifted my entire neurological system and really, really helped me heal my PMDD, which doctors say is incurable, and you just have to find ways to cope with it. And soon after that, I went on a hike with another friend of mine, a very, very dear soul brother, very, very dear soul brother of mine, Anthony DiPolito, who's going to be on this podcast very soon in year 3. I'm excited to bring him on. And he's also a shaman. And we went for a hike, and we're just talking about my experience with combo. And I said to him, like, it's just so weird. And this is like, when is this? This is the end of August. And I said, I feel like I'm going to be in Peru. And before I could finish the sentence, he said, oh, well, we're going to Peru in November. And then I finished the sentence in November. So it was super aligned. And, his dear friends were organizing a trip to a center that works with the Shipobo tribe in the jungles of Peru. And the Shipobo tribe is a tribe that I've been very, very called to work with in plant medicine. And so there it was, a trip for me to go on. All I needed to do was say yes. And it was in November. It was with the tribe that I really felt called to work with people that I trust and love and feel supported by and seen by. But it was in November. And I still have one-on-one clients who are working with me. And I still have the final month of the alliance to complete, which ends in November. And so there was all these things, and I still have a podcast to run, and I still have videos to do, and I still have content, and I still had all this shit to do. And I said yes. I said yes, trusting that this is really what I'm meant to do. But I said yes because I know with every ounce of my being that in doing this for me, I will return and be able to serve my clients and my audience and my community and all of you listeners more powerfully. After all, that's what this is about. I didn't pursue my purpose to do a mediocre fucking job at it. No, I pursued my purpose because I really felt called to turn my pain into power. I really believe that every single thing that I've experienced in my life, all the traumas, all the wounds, all the shit that I've gone through, that I've overcome, was not in vain, but it was for a reason, for a purpose. And that is to then transmute all of that pain into a movement, into a legacy, into something that is going to positively impact humanity on a global scale. And in order to do that, I need to continue. It is my divine duty, my divine responsibility to continue to take care of myself so that I can continue to evolve and continue to embody everything that I preach, teach, share online. I'm a big believer that as leaders, we can only take our clients and our followers and our community as far as we've gone. We can't take them any deeper than we've gone. It's impossible. And so if you're asking your clients or your followers to walk through the fire, you need to walk through that fucking fire first. If you're asking them to crawl through the mud, you need to crawl through that mud. If you're asking them to face their shadows, you need to face your shadows. All of them. Even the ones that you're terrified to face. You need to fucking face them before you ask your clients to do the same. That is your divine responsibility as a leader. You need to lead your life first. And so this is why I'm going to Peru. This is why I'm choosing to continue to dive deeper into my journey with plant medicine, with Gaia, with Mama Pacha, with this work that I've been doing, because it's cracking me open. It's helping me face the shadows that on a conscious level, I haven't been ready to face, so that I can continue to accelerate my evolution and serve more powerfully. You know, when it comes to you and your purpose, you pursued your purpose to create more meaning in your life. You pursued your purpose to create more freedom. You pursued your purpose to powerfully serve our planet and its people. Remember that. And so if you're feeling like you can't take a break, if you're feeling like you can't just get up and go for 30 days like I am, then what you actually feel is you feel like a prisoner. You feel like you're shackled to your business. You feel like you're shackled to your mission, to your movement. And you're bombarded with thoughts of like, well, what if I take time off, I'm no longer going to be relevant. If I take time off, I'm no longer be significant. If I take a break from and maybe you've said one or all of these things to yourself before. If I take a break from my mission or my business, I'm letting people down. If I take a break from my mission or my business, I'm not doing my job. If I'm taking a break from my mission or my business, I'm not meeting expectations. If I take a break from my mission or my business, people will judge me. If I take a break from my mission or my business, I'll lose money or I'll lose momentum. And trust me, like I've been an entrepreneur for a while. This is not my first rodeo. And I have believed and thought all of these things. And yet here I am taking almost an entire month off and not feeling guilty about it. Instead, feeling really fucking good about it and really fucking empowered by it. Because I'm setting the example by being the example for my clients. If your clients and your customers are truly aligned, they will understand. And I want to make that really clear. So it's not like I'm just like leaving my clients hanging. No, I let them know as soon as I knew and shifted the schedule so that their calls are not taking place while I'm away, but we reschedule their calls for before and after. They understand that if they reach out to me during that time, I'm there's no way for me to check my phone. I'm going to be completely off the grid. And they're happy for me. They're excited for me. But in doing that, they also see that it's possible for them. And that's what's important for me is to model that for them. Because I would never want my clients to feel like they're a prisoner to their mission. No, that's not why we started doing this work in the first place, right? We started doing this work to create that freedom. We started doing this work to create that meaning in our lives. And so if you're feeling like a prisoner, if you're feeling shackled to your business or your movement or your mission, then you have to ask yourself why. After all, you created this. And just as you created this, you get to create something different for yourself. So when it comes to leadership, being a leader means that you are being the example. And I really, I take that to heart every single day. You know, who am I being is a question I ask myself often. And what would the leader in me do in this moment? Well, the leader in me would say yes to this trip to Peru because I'm called to do this work. I'm called to dive deeper within myself. And I know that as a result, this is going to greatly benefit and impact my clients, my audience, my vision. That's why I do it. So when it comes to taking time off your mission and your business, what you need to understand is without you, there is no mission or business. Without you, your purpose will never be fulfilled. Without you, your vision will never happen. Without you, your cause will never reach the people who need it the most. So time off in your business or your mission isn't really time off. It's time for a reframe. Time off is time for you to integrate and honor your inner work, which in turn benefits your mission, your people, your audience, your clients, and your business. So in reality, the term time off is incorrect. And I hate saying that because we're not actually taking time off. What we're doing is taking time in. I'm going to Peru not to take time off. I'm going to Peru to take time in. I'm going to Peru to integrate. I'm going to Peru to elevate. I'm going to Peru to continue being the leader that I say I'm being. Time off is really time in. It's time that you spend moving inwards and honoring what you need to continue showing up powerfully for your mission and for the people that you serve. So remember that. If you're in a place right now where you're feeling shackled to your business or your mission, if you're in a place right now where you're like, fuck, I just need some time off, what you're really saying is you need time in. You need time to move inwards. You need time to integrate. You need time to honor your needs so that you can continue to show up powerfully for your purpose, for your mission, for your vision, for your cause, for your people, for those you're here to serve. What's interesting is that so many of us, when we start to pursue our purpose, we decide to design these businesses with the hopes of achieving this lifestyle that we want, right? Because we all have this desired lifestyle, whether it's to create space so that you can really raise a family, or it's so that you can travel the world and see all and experience things, or create more time for you to spend with loved ones, whatever it is. Like there's a lifestyle that we all have in mind, right? When we're designing our businesses and our missions. And so what I see people doing often is they design their business or their mission with the hopes of achieving the lifestyle they want. You know, it's the have, do, be mentality. When I have this business, when I have the money coming in, I'm going to do these things like travel the world and raise my family, and then I'll be happy. But that's not how it works, kids. That's not how it works. You need to design a business and a mission that fits your ideal lifestyle from the get-go. And this is something I learned. My last business was a social media marketing business. And I ended up working like 70, 75 hours, sometimes 80 hours a week, because I was managing all of the social media platforms for 5 different companies. Okay. That's like 5 platforms, 5 different companies, 25 platforms in total. It was a lot. And I was burnt out, and I reached a really awful stage of adrenal fatigue. It was tough. You know, it took me 9 months to get my health back on track from that. And soon after that, I got into coaching, and I decided at that point in time, like, no, I don't want to design this business the same way I did my social media marketing business. I want to design this business in a way that really, truly honors my needs, because at the end of the day, I'm here to serve people, and I can only serve people as much as I serve myself. I can only take people as far as I've gone myself. So I really created this business with the intention of taking weekends off, of closing my laptop at a certain time of day every day, of honoring my needs, of not feeling like I need to be online all the fucking time. And I'm not saying it hasn't been a challenge. It's definitely been a challenge, right? I'm human. I am a human being after all. And at the same time, I've continued to steer back into designing the business that fits my ideal lifestyle. So if you want to get to a place where you take weekends off, then start taking weekends off now. Because what happens is if you have a business where you're not taking weekends off, but ideally your lifestyle, the vision that you have for yourself is taking weekends off, it's going to be much harder to get there, because now you've created this habit of hustling 7 days a week, and that habit's going to be hard to break. So your movement, you get to design that however the fuck you want to design that. Don't look to other leaders and see what they're doing. If there's a leader that inspires you online and they're pumping out videos every single fucking day, but you don't have either the energy or the resources or the time to do that, don't think that you have to do that. You don't, right? You don't have to do that. You don't have to create these movements the same as other people have. You get to design it your way. And hint, hint, your way is going to be the way that is aligned with everything that you teach, preach, and value. So for me, I value and I teach and I stand for leaders being leaders, not leaders doing leadership, leaders being leaders. I stand for leaders being devoted to the inner work first and foremost, which means that I must be a leader. I must be everything that I teach, preach, and share. I must feel free to say, hey, I'm going to Peru to really devote some time to myself. And I need to be the type of leader who devotes herself to the inner work, because this is, after all, this is what I'm asking you to do. When you can stand by that, by understanding that these choices that you make to take a break, to take time off, which is really time in, when you understand that that is actually going to benefit you, which in turn benefits your clients, your customers, your movement, your audience, your community, the content that you create. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've returned from a vacation and my content is fucking off the hook, right? And you've probably had that too. When we are in that mode of feeling stressed out or burnt out or busy, or like we can't take a break, like we're shackled to our businesses or movements, we actually are lacking space to bring those new ideas in, to bring those to receive those new downloads. And so we need to continuously create that space, whether it's by, having weekends off, or having a set day off, or having set time off, which is essentially time in. But, you have to remind yourselves that you didn't get into this to fucking burn out. You didn't get into this to be an incongruent leader. That's not leadership at all. You created this. You pursued your purpose to create more meaning in your life. You pursued your purpose to create more freedom. You pursued your purpose to powerfully serve our planet and its people. You pursued this, which means that you get to take these breaks. You get to take time in. If you feel right now as though you can't take a break, what you're really saying is that you're a prisoner. And I'd be willing to put all my money on like the fact that you did not pursue this work to be a prisoner, to feel like a prisoner. No, you want freedom. You want choice. You want to honor your needs, and your clients, your audience, the people that you're serving need you to show up at your absolute fucking best. So when you feel like you can't take a break, remember you can. And it's not really a break, quote unquote break. It is time that you devote to yourself so that you can continue to show up powerfully, so that you continue to serve people powerfully. And so this is why I can get up and go today to Peru, or today, by the time you're listening to this today, to Peru, and go off the grid for 3.5 weeks as I sit in the jungle with the Shipobo tribe in divine plant medicine. I'm very excited. A little scared because I heard there's flying snakes, but I'll be good. I'll be good. It's not my first backpacking trip. Believe it or not, leaders, I have roughed it many times in my life. But yeah, I really felt called to share this with you because I am just so sick and tired of hearing about leaders being burnt out, of hearing stories from my clients who are saying that, who are showing signs of like really not honoring their needs. Like, as leaders, we get to fucking honor our needs first. We need to be the example. Okay. So yes, you can take a break. Yes, you can dedicate and devote yourself to your inner work. In fact, that's where leadership begins. Leaders, thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Thursday's Thought and today's Thought Leader, where I'm challenging you to rise up, speak up, and create a movement. Now, you've heard me talk about this. You've probably seen me online talk about this, and time is ticking. If you are a thought leader who is seeking to expand your life, your vision, and your impact alongside a powerful collective of leaders in 2020, head to rubyfremon.com/TLC to learn more about how you can be one of the 10 founding members in the Thought Leader Collective. And do this, okay? If it calls to you, apply. And if you apply in the month of November while I'm away, please know that I will get back to you as soon as I am back. But we kick things off in January. It is going to be such a powerful experience. It includes 2 in-person 4-day retreats. I'm talking transformation from the inside out alongside a collective of leaders who really are there to support you. I am vetting this, rigorously vetting the applicants, because I only want leaders who are in it to rise together, leaders who are already 100% devoted to their missions and their movements, leaders who are showing up in a really powerful way for their cause and for their mission. Now, if you dig this podcast, please make sure you download a few episodes and drop a rating and review on iTunes. And make sure you sign up for my emails at rubyfremon.com/subscribe. If you have any questions about today's episode, you just want to say what's up, please reach out to me on social media. My handle is at @IamRuby. And reminder, if it's in November, I'm not going to be here. So you could drop the messages and I'll get back to you once I'm back on the grid. So reminder, I am taking a break from the podcast for the month of November. So that means there will be no more episodes airing this month while I'm in the jungles of Peru. But don't worry, I will be back with the year 2. Yes, year 2. Holy shit, time flies. Podcast anniversary episode on Monday, December 2nd, where I'm going to share with you my top lessons in podcasting. So mark your calendars for Monday, December 2nd, when I am back, and stay tuned. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being such a loyal thought leader. I appreciate you immensely. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And now I'm off to Peru. So I'll see you on the other side, thought leaders.